Alright, let's see what we got on the job market. So as I was saying earlier, looking at different options, it would interest me quite a bit to do some hauling, and that's actually a pretty decent load, it looks like. When's it due? 7 hours. Takes 5 to get there. I can do that. Anyway, so yeah, if I, ooh, this looks good. Good thing it's a no collision zone. What in the world? What in the world? Oh, that's a truck. Anyway, so over a certain weight, you have to have a CDL class license because, you're only allowed to haul so much weight. And after that same certain weight, I'm going right. I don't know where I'm going, dude. Just give me a minute. You need a DOT registration number on the side of your truck. And that's kind of a big deal because I can't really do all that. I looked up, the requirements to get a CDL license. You go take a written test. If you pass, then you have to take a course, which I don't know what that course costs. But after you pass the course, you go do the driving portion of the test. Now it says to bring the vehicle you intend to drive with the license for your test. And I'm thinking, well, I plan to drive a 3/4 ton pickup truck, not a semi. So do I take that to do the test in? I mean, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but that's not technically an 18-wheeler, So anyway, that had me a little confused. But I don't know. It's just a huge process. I heard a rumor that the class you have to take costs $3,000. I don't know the truth behind that. That's just a complete rumor at this point. I probably should get with my uncle because my uncle has a CDL license and he knows a little bit about it, and he's drove 18-wheelers. So, but here's the confusing part. The website says there's two different weights. There's like a GVWR and a GCWR or something like that. I don't even know. I can't keep up with it. I don't know what the difference is. So that's the first thing. The maximum on one of them was 10,001 pound. So if you have a load with 10,001 pound, if you have a load with 10,001 pound GVWR or whatever, and that's what they were saying is if the truck and trailer are rated for more than 10,001 pound, regardless if you're hauling it or not, you need the CDL. Then there was another section that said 26,000 something pounds, and I'm thinking, well, that makes more sense. But it was the same deal. It was like, even if you weren't hauling that much, if the truck and trailer combined were rated for that much, then you need a CDL. And I said, well, let's think about this for a second. The half-ton, or no, is it half-ton? Yeah, the half-ton F-150 that I have now is rated for 10,000 pounds. And so pulling a trailer would then be illegal without a CDL? That doesn't make any sense with a half-ton truck. Just because the truck's rated for 10,000 pounds, if any trailer 1 pound or more were rated, 1 pound or more, then that would mean I'm over the weight on those guidelines of, 10 per 10,000. So that didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. So if we go back to the 26,000 number, if I get the F-250, it's rated for 12,000 pounds, which is only 2,000 more than the F-150. But it's a big heavy-duty truck, and that means that it would have no problem pulling a big heavy-duty trailer. So I'm just trying to think, that means that my trailer would need to be rated for 15,000 pounds or less if it were the other number. If it were the first number, who knows? Who knows what, at this point, I mean, it would be illegal to drive the truck alone. If it's rated for 12,000 and the other number is 10,000, that means the truck would be illegal to drive without a trailer. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe I'm not fully understanding how this works, but it's really confusing, and I don't want to, the last thing I would want to do is, actually dive into this, get a big trailer and this big truck, and try to take a load somewhere and end up getting a over the weight limit ticket for my class of license. That would suck. I feel like if I act like I knew what I was doing, I probably wouldn't get pulled over, but I don't know. But I've done a whole lot of research into, permits. What kind of permits do you need when you're driving, through states with oversized loads and over the weight loads? You can't get a permit for an over the weight load. You don't go over the weight. That's the thing. So I don't know. I've just been looking into it. I've been thinking, if I could get a trailer that had 10,000 or less pound load, that would be something I'd be able to do. My issue is I still don't understand the whole rating for that kind of stuff. If the trailer has 10,000 pounds and the truck's rated for 12, would that not mean that I was way over if the number was 10? So I don't know. It's confusing. But if I ever figure that information out, I would love to try it. Now, you're probably thinking, because I thought that when I was saying it, why would I trade for worse mile per gallon, worse, MPG, from this F-150 EcoBoost into an F-250, big V8? And the thing is, this EcoBoost actually doesn't have a towing hitch at all. Don't know why. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. So it's just a truck, and it's supposedly rated for 10,000 pounds. It doesn't have a towing hitch. I should hope they don't expect you to put 10,000 pounds in the bumper, but it just, I don't know. That makes no sense. And usually when they do come with towing hitches, like a class 3 towing hitch, is only rated for 3,500 pounds anyway. So that wouldn't be any help at all, even if it had one. I mean, 3,500 pounds is not a lot. Whereas the big F-250s, they come with a class 4 towing hitch, which is rated for 10,000 pounds, which puts me back at my original thing where I was like, oh yeah, 10,000 pounds, that's the limit. So I don't know. I think if I were actually to try it, I would probably try to stay under 10,000 pounds just to begin with, until I learned more information, until I got comfortable with what I was doing. You don't want to jump out there and get a really heavy load and then end up with problems. So, which brings me to my other topic of what I've been thinking about regarding this entire thing: problems. If, for example, I'll go back to the RV. I'm going to slow down. I'll go back to the RV that I was looking at. It was an RV. I think it was going from South Carolina straight into Maine, about an hour away from where my friends live. Ooh, we're going left. Okay. I didn't look at the map. I was like, what? The RV was about 8,000 pounds. That was well within my want of what I wanted it to be. They wanted it taken to Maine. That was pretty much it. But you have to think about, if you show up to get the trailer and tires are bad, the bearings are out of it, the trailer brake doesn't work, something goes wrong, and then, are you going to chance taking this load up to Maine with all these issues? And then you have to think about, what if something happens on the way to Maine? You never know. You might get stuck on interstate in traffic and, not expect it and have to come to a complete stop in a second, and you miss hitting the car in front of you by just an inch, and then the guy behind you plows right into that camper. You got to have proper insurance to cover the load. You don't want to get stuck paying for a camper that, you're just trying to do to make a little side money, you know? So there's a whole thing to it. And I kind of look at it like, you know, not long ago I was looking at the options of a repo company, because that's something, repossession, you know, watching Repo Nut, I realize he makes it look a lot easier than it is, but that really interested me. That was something I'd like to do. I'd still like to do it one day. It's just at this point I can't go rent a tow truck and you know, get started that way. I have applied at local tow companies and never really got anywhere from that. So I mean, it's not like I can do this on my own without, you know, the requirement of actually getting a job with someone. So you know, repoing something I'd love to try one day, but right now I'm just thinking of what do I want to do right now. You know, I'm not employed. I do have a couple of online businesses that I run, which you know, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Right now is not a great time, but I'm not bankrupt, so I can't complain. You know, the bills are paid, and that's pretty much all I can say. So I'm okay with that, but I would love to do better. And doing better would mean finding something else to do. Do I want to go work at Walmart again? No. I mean, I've jokingly said that I would go back to Walmart just to stand around and do nothing and get paid for it, just because of the way I was treated when I did work there. But it would never be something serious. I would never go back to be serious. Not unless I got exactly what I wanted, you know, Photoshop, photo department, or electronics. You know, that's where I want to be. I get those are busy departments, but that's stuff I know exactly about. I can answer every question anyone has in those particular departments. Sporting goods, yeah, you're going to have to find it yourself, because I don't even know what a sport is. So yeah. Anyway, on to the point. Just kind of looking for different things. I like to consider myself as an entrepreneur. I like to do things for myself. I don't like to go work for other people. I get that I'm not always going to have that privilege in life, or at least I don't plan on it. You know, I like to plan for the worst, and how do they say that? Plan for the best and expect the worst. That's it. Plan for the best and expect the worst. Meaning, if I can always do things on my own to make money, such as, you know, getting into this shipping thing and actually getting a CDL and doing this, you know, the right way, that would be cool. But, you know, I'm open to the idea that if I have to get a job somewhere one day, I'm going to. But I just definitely don't want it to be a long-term plan. I want a job, any kind of job, where I'm working for someone else, to be a short-term plan until I figure something else out. I remain positive. I guess that's how you would say it. I pretty much just don't count on YouTube ever taking off and being an income. I make some money off of YouTube. It helps. It really does help. But I never expect to make enough off of YouTube to make it, to not have to have a side job. And if I ever do, that's cool. I mean, I don't feel like I'm that entertaining, and I don't feel like there's much I can do to become that entertaining. But if I do, then that's awesome. And if not, well, it's not like I'm going to be let down because I'm not planning on it. The number one mistake most YouTubers who fail make is trying to get into YouTube to make money. I am not here to make money. The money is great. I like making money, but that is not why I'm here. And as long as I stay like that, then everything will be good, I feel like. So, but like I said, I got two businesses that I run currently, completely online, completely right here from my desk, and you know, it can get hectic at times, and other times it's like you just sit back and watch the money come in, and it's like, well, this is fun. But you know, I think everything has its ups and downs like that. And if it ever comes to a point where those two things fail and aren't bringing in money for me, then, well, I'm going to start looking for something else. I'm going to see what else I can do and what else. I mean, not that I'm not looking for something else now. Like I said, you know, I'd like to get into this shipping thing. That would be interesting to me, but... Oh, what are you doing? I just wasn't happy about that. You know, you get trollers on here who like to ram you and do stuff like that, and I just wasn't having that, so I was just going to stop and see what he was doing. But whatever. My mind, it runs sometimes. And I feel like I've expressed that in this video. I've talked about 20 different things that I'd like to do and like to try. And, you know, I guess that's my thing. I don't want to do just one thing. I don't have anything in my mind that's like, you know, this is the one thing I want to do for the rest of my life. I'd like to try everything and just see which one I like best out of all of them. Is it going to be repossession? Because that seems very interesting to me. And I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I don't go crazy over, you know, stealing somebody's car and maybe getting shot at. It would be kind of fun, but I'm not an adrenaline junkie, and that's not what I'm in it for. I think that it would be an exciting career. It's one of those, it's kind of like being a cop. No two accounts are the same. No two assignments are the same, I guess you could say. You're never going to get stuck in a rut of doing the same thing over and over again, because it's going to be different every time. And you know, I as a kid I always wanted to be a cop, and my vision has restricted me from being able to do that. I don't see well enough to be a cop. I just couldn't pass the tests. I barely passed the test to drive, so no, I passed the test to drive, and I don't think everyone else believes me on that. I get a letter pretty much every year from the DMV. Hey, we want you to come take an eye test. It's like, really? I pass it every single year. I mean, there's different levels of passing the eye test. Let's get into this. If you pass an eye test with 20/20 or 20/40, you can drive unrestricted. If you pass an eye test with 20/60, you can drive... Ooh, how do I do this? Yep, like that. Okay. If you pass the eye test with 20/60, you can drive after 6 a.m. and before 9 p.m., so no night driving. And if you score 20/80, I think it is, it's no night driving, no interstate driving. Oh, come on. It ain't gonna let me have that. Anyway, every year that I take the test, what am I doing here? Wrong way. Every year that I take the test, I pass it. I have no restrictions, no night, you know, none of that, no night driving thing or anything like that. I pass perfectly fine, but every year they ask me to come in and take a new test, so whatever. So they aren't confident in my abilities, which I guess would be another thing to think about. If I have so much trouble with my eye test for getting a driver's license, how would that work with getting a CDL license? Who knows? More to come in the next episode. Wow. That just completely crashed. Really? Wow. Okay. Game crashed. Don't know if